You'll notice the stealth panels, similar to what we use on the B-2. The rotors have been muffled with decibel killers. It's slower in the Black Hawk, lacks the offense and the stability, but it can hide.
So, hey, excuse me, but what do we need this for in Libya? I mean, Gaddafi's anti-air is virtually non-existent.
Maya, you want to brief them?
There are two narratives about the location of Osama bin Laden. The one that you're most familiar with is that UBL is hiding in a cave in the tribal areas, that he's surrounded by a large contingent of loyal fighters. But that narrative is pre-9/11 understanding of UBL. The second narrative is that he's living in a city. Living in a city with multiple points of egress and entry, access to communications, so that he can keep in touch with the organization. You can't run a global network of interconnected cells from a cave.
Here's Catherine Bigelow movie with you playing a CIA targeter in basically a world of men.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, Catherine making movies about men in action most of the time doing that.
Yeah.
So the two of you like women warriors coming out in that world. Did you connect on that basis?
Absolutely.
Did you two go out and just smack some guys around?
I don't think we even needed to, because Catherine has this aura on set, no one messes with her. Do you know what I mean? Like the crowd parts when she walks in. And not because she's, mean or anything.
No, she's regal.
She's regal, she's fair and generous, but powerful. Working on this movie with Catherine, I think she's the only one who could have made it, because it bucks all stereotypes for women in this movie. Usually we're used to seeing characters that are defined by men. They're either the love interest or they're the victim of a man. And Maya doesn't have any of that, because the true story is Maya was married to her job. She, didn't have the support of a boyfriend at home or anything like that. So working with Catherine, she's really like honest and fair with this portrayal of what actually happened. And I think it's a great representation of this generation of women. And I don't think anyone else could have made this movie but Catherine.
I know, it just seems to come together in that way.
I mean, Maya in our story is capable, intelligent, and she stands on her own. And it's really exciting to see that and to play that. She also is someone that descends the rabbit hole of her work, so that at the end of the film, she starts in one place and then we see her kind of become a stranger to herself. And someone asks her at the very end, where do you want to go? And there is this moment of, where can she go? Who is she now? But the beautiful thing about what Mark and Catherine have done, they're ending the movie with a question. They're not giving you an answer. Yes, it's who is she? What can she do now? But it's, what do we do now as a country, as a society of people? It's a really
after spending a decade chasing this figure of Osama bin Laden, and you get him, and then what does it mean?
Exactly, what does this mean? And I actually felt that when, I don't know where you were when you heard the news that they had killed Osama bin Laden, but I remember when I was told that, it wasn't like, fist pumping, it was a very strange feeling of, wow, that's a marker for this very intense decade we've been living in, but what does it mean now? What does it create?
What did you learn from playing this part that you didn't know going into?
Well, I didn't know if I could play this part. I didn't know how to be in that part of the world. I mean, it was 3 months before we started shooting that I was working on the character, so I learned so much about Osama bin Laden, so much about the war on terror, everything that led up to 9/11 through my research. But then also being in that part of the world, it's crazy to make a movie there, because there were many times I'd go to a restaurant with...
Where was it exactly that you were
We
shooting?
filmed in Chandigarh, India, which is about 3 hours drive from Pakistan, and in a little, primarily in Amman, Jordan, but then also around Jordan. And, one time I went to a nice restaurant with 3 of the male actors in a hotel in Amman, Jordan, and the waiter brought 3 menus for the men, but nothing for me. And this is supposed to be a liberal area. So I was constantly having that feeling come at me. And every time it happened, and I remember that time Jason Clarke ordered for me, but I was just sitting there simmering. Anytime that happened, it just like added a log to the fire of Maya.
Good.
Thinking, you know, she can do 10 years, you know, in this, and also much more intense line of work. I can do 4 months here.
Yeah, it's a difference, but still, imagining now all these guys ordering for you. And you are, in addition to all the awards you win, I learned today that you were PETA's choice for sexiest vegetarian of 2012. I don't know who your competition was, but congratulations.
Thank you. Well, I think I tied with Woody Harrelson.
Really?
I think it was Woody Harrelson and
I think he was a few points below you for that. You know, come on, that's it. But now, look what happens. This movie is a great movie.
Thank you.
I don't even have to say that I'm alone in the world thinking that everybody sees it, thinks it. So it's Oscar time again. Oscar! We should just live through all of that. The Help and the other 110
Yeah.
movies that you had made, all in that Tree of Life, especially
Yeah.
Taking Shelter, which I just think is
I love that film.
incredible. How are you handling this now that you are an expert at going through award season?
Oh, I'm the furthest
Oh, come on, you
thing
were-
from
you
an
were.
expert.
There you
No,
were.
I'm not I mean, come on.
Luckily,
come on.
you're on stage doing the Heiress
Yes.
until practically the Oscars are on.
Yeah, till February 10th.
Yeah,
We're doing the Heiress.
yeah.
You know, it's a very strange career I've had so far because I've been working forever, I feel like. So when last year happened, it's been, when you think about it, Peter, it's been like a year and a half ago is when my movies first started to come out. That's crazy to me that so much has happened so fast. And last year I kept saying, I'll never have another year like this. I'm just enjoying every minute because it can. And then of course this year has been incredible. So next year is just going to be like the worst year of my life probably because it's just, I feel so happy and I feel it's an embarrassment of riches.
Although some of those movies that you made still aren't out.
The very first film I've done still has not
Salome,
out.
the Al
So-
Pacino thing, right?
Exactly.
Not
I'm trying to do whatever I can to release this film now. So
It must be that if you'd had somebody with you playing Herod that was a little more well known than Al
Pacino.
why can't this get released?
I don't
What
know.
mischief were the two of you up to? Is it just that the rating is just?
I think, you know what it is? Did you see Looking for Richard?
I did.
I love that film, but it's not conventional in its narrative. I mean, Wild Salome it's an amazing film, and there's bits of Oscar Wilde's play Salome, and there's bits of Al Pacino investigating who Oscar Wilde was. But also, too, I think he's still working on it. Al's a true artist. He's been working on this play for 25 years. And I don't know if he wants to let go of this film, but I really want it to come out. It's my first film I've ever made, so how great would that be to finally get it out?
Well, I remember you telling me last year about how they all came out at once and that your family would say,
Yeah.
Are you lying to us, Jessica?
What are you doing in LA?
What are you really doing?
Yeah.
There's no movies with you to be found anywhere.
Sure, you're working with Al Pacino
You know,
and Brad
right.
Pitt.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, it's not really happening.
Yeah.
You know how we always end this show with
You're going to
song?
ask me to sing, aren't
Yes,
you?
of course I am.
Here's the thing.
You
Do
were
you-
fine about it the last time. Now you're Jessica Chastain.
What did I sing last time?
Killer.
What
Killer.
did I sing?
It was, and yes, it was. No, don't. I'm not going to say it now because you're waiting to catch me. It's the debate team again.
You
I
wanna
want
do a
something
You know
that's
what?
in
Here's
your
the thing.
head.
You never sing with people.
I will sing with you. We
What
could
do you
do a
wanna sing?
Christmas song together.
All right. How about Blue Christmas?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. I don't know the rest.
No, it's too long. It's like decorations.
Yeah, it's
and
too long.
We can't do it. But let's
That's-
wish everybody
Merry
a
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Look at that. It was such a kind show. And you're such a killer in this.
I'm not a killer
beautiful.
in real
no,
life,
you're not
though.
a killer. You don't have any of the killer thing in real life. No, that's what's great.